First of all, I want to thank you for paying attention to whatever thing I want to say. You know, in life, what we're seeking for may come from unlikely sources. Sources we never expected. And that's why in this life, be open to everything. Be open to everything. To learn from every source in life. Learn from everything. When you finally, as a human being, break from the barriers that we put around ourselves, and the barriers that society and education and whatever thing we have inherited puts around ourselves, then we have begun our road to freedom. Because when we begin to dismantle those barriers that are put so that we can cross to reach where we want to go, it will be difficult for us to realize who we really are. And that's why I'm very excited to discuss this topic today. How not to struggle for a living. I wish, and it's my wish, that you learn something out of this and take it with you and apply it in your own life and see the results. I always tell the devotees of my soul and night devotion, which simply means devoting your resources and everything of yours to your own soul and yourself. I devote to myself and my soul. Devote to yourself and your soul is what my soul and night devotion is about. It has got nothing short of that. Probably the only thing that can be added to that is what I have discovered. Out of my more than 4 decades of life, I spent 25 years digging into who I wanted to be. I wanted to know, who am I? Why am I going through all the struggles in life? Why is it pain and suffering? Why is life not easy for everyone? Why are there 1,000,001 questions in all the churches, in all the mosques, in all the shrines, in all the institutions, in all the countries, in all the companies, in all the families, in all the kingdoms, everywhere you go? Why are there 1,000,001 questions and there are no answers? That spot me. And when my father died, it got even worse. When I lost my first friend at the age of 6, many questions began to crop up in my mind about life. It is very important as a human being to find out who we are. It's not today that I started asking this question. If you look at some of my videos online when I was still very young, I used to ask this question, who am I? I remember my first exhibition, art exhibition that I did in Senegal way back in 2003, I asked the same question. The title of that exhibition was "À la recherche de l'inconnu." It was in a French country, so the title was in French. "À la recherche de l'inconnu," in search of the unknown. I have always asked questions about myself. I have always wanted to know who I am. I have always wanted to know what I'm doing here on this earth. I have always wanted to know why I am here at this point in time, in this generation. I have always wanted to know why I am in that country, in this place, in that place, relating to these people at this point in time, doing this and that at this point in time. Why? What spurred me to be in those places at that point in time, in those countries at that point in time? What spurs me to go to school and learn particular things? I have learned a lot in my life. And I ask questions. I go through pain and I ask questions. Why do I have to go through all this pain? Why do I have to see other people suffer? You have no idea how many times I've lived in the streets. You have no idea how many times I've begun life. Right from my family, I will begin a life, establish everything, and something will happen and they take everything away from me. I will begin life again. I've been duped over and over. I'm still going through another one right now where I lost everything. I lost my home here in the US. Lost my assets, lost my companies. I'm fighting for my children right now. You know, and these questions, they come. You ask yourself, why? If you can't ask yourself and you just begin to worry about the things that happen instead of asking fundamental questions, sitting down and thinking hard on this and really reflecting and asking hard questions, where you went wrong, what is happening, what is going on, is this your purpose? These pursuits, are they the right things? Are they the right decisions we are making? When one is unable to ask those fundamental questions that are personally related, that are related to us, when we cannot ask deep questions about ourselves, who am I? And we keep running up and down, pursuing vanity. The judge is there judging 1 million people and throwing them in jail and making decisions on them. I'm feeling good. The restaurant keeper is there working very hard, serving other people, giving them food and collecting salary. I'm feeling good. The chef is there in the kitchen cooking food and making sure that people are eating, and he is feeling good about it. The medical doctor is there in the hospital treating people and creating these miracles. I'm feeling good about the miracles. I'm feeling how superhuman he is. The scientist is there in the laboratory creating one thing and the other. Some are going to the moon. Some are studying the stars. The historians are doing things. The designers, the programmers, the architects, the pilots. Specialists in various fields. We all are doing different things. It's common. It's a universal thing that each and every one of us living on the planet Earth is busy in a profession in one way or another. All of us have professions. But there is one thing lacking in our lives. Very few of us asked fundamental questions about us. Very few of us spend hours a day to dig into who we really are. Very few of us are taking our own lives serious. I mean, really serious, meaning business, saying, I am going to live this life feeling happy, feeling comfortable, feeling objective, feeling that I deserve it, and having hope that you're going to live a long life and working towards that in confidence, trusting yourself, trusting the universe that you're going to have a long life and sense it happening in your life. Very few of us do stuff like this. And that's why you see I speak from experience. I don't go gather people's stories. I like sharing stories that I understand very well. But I take my own story and put it forth because it's a life I live. I don't want to tell someone about something I don't do. If you see me sitting here, I've worked on myself. I've done a lot of work to be where I am today. And that's why when I speak with confidence. I don't blink about what I say. I don't mince my word about what I say. I don't waver about what I say. I don't joke about what I say. Because what I say is what I live. Is what I experience. And I trust it. And that's why when I take someone to mentor, I trust that what I'm giving that person is worth every single minute of it. I don't give the person promises to wait and just hope. And then go through all the pain and suffering on earth, and then when we die, we will go to an imaginary place called heaven. I don't believe in that. There is bliss. There is a heaven for everyone. It's both here and everywhere. How you choose to go there depends on how you work your way. When you look into the lives of all the masters and all the saints and all the prophets that have come and gone, there is one thing, one thread that ties all of them together. All the masters, all the saints, all the prophets, all the great men of God, all the spiritual people that have lived this life, that have left a mark and left. There's one thread that goes through all of them. And that thread is their realization, their approach to their spirituality, to what they present, to how they live their lives is different. Each and every one of them presented their lives in a different way, lived their lives in a different way, and did things quite different from the way all of them live. But one spirit tied all of them together again. What does that tell us? It tells us that we are independent as souls. But at the same time, what created us gave us one thing that is related to Him, so that wherever we go, whatever thing we do in our own independent ways, we are connected back as one source, all of us together. We are back connected to one thing. It's just like the umbilical cord connecting the mother and the child. Even though the mother and the child are two independent entities, that umbilical cord brings them together as one. So we are all connected to the universal creator. He gives us that connection so that no matter what we do, no matter where we go, no matter the amount of experiences we have in life, We are all linked back together. Our humanity comes back and assembles and converges to one source, which is the one that creates us. And that is what is fun about life. We are all interconnected. But we have our own ways of expressing our individuality. Jesus Christ expresses his own in a different way. Muhammad expresses his own in a different way. The Buddha expresses his own in a different way. Maharishi expresses his own in a different way. Paramahansa Yogananda expresses his own in a different way. The yogis, the saints, Mother Teresa, each and every one of them expressed theirs in a different way, but always connected to one source. When we finally understand where we come from, our purpose on earth, what we are doing here, we begin to link back to that connection. And when we begin to link back to a true connection, everything about us begins to change. Everything. Everything. We become a mystery because we are mysterious. And that's why I want us to talk about this topic. How not to struggle for a living. It's not right. It's not right for a human being to struggle for a life when a dog and a cat and the animals, the wilds in the bush don't struggle for a life. Why are we struggling for a living? Why do we have to toil, work so hard for a life? When the universal creator created everything, when he is capable of giving us everything we want and letting us just have it and enjoy it, why will we have to toil so hard for a life? Why will man have to pay so dearly just to have a life on this earth? Have you ever taken time to ask yourself that question? Why do I have to pay so dearly for my own life? How not to struggle for a living? That's what I want us to look at today. I have gone through trials and pain most of my life. I have seen hell and heaven most of my life. From my families, my relatives, my friends, my own country, the community I live in, my associates, my business, people around me, and the world I live in. There is one remarkable thing we need to understand about this very life here on earth today. It's supposed not to be like that, but that is what it is. Any single human being that comes around you and listening to you is listening with a motive for himself, for herself. He's not listening for you. He's not spending that time around you for you. No human being does that today in this life. Maybe in the past, maybe in the interior of Africa or China or Asia, where people have not been consumed by modern deviant ways, where people have not lost their humanity yet. Then those people can come around you and do stuff just because of love, just because you are human. In this modern society, that is not what it is. Everyone who comes around you and listens to you is because of profit. It's because of desire. It's because of motive. Whether they understand it or not. Most often they don't understand. It has been built in our system that it's desire that pushes us towards people. Our secondary desire is not because we choose just to go towards people because we want to share the love of life with them. We want to give love to a fellow human being or to an animal, bird. No, it's something. Even those that deal with pets, they do it for a reason. Their own personal motive. They want to please themselves. They want to use the pet as something to take away stress. They are not doing it because they want to love that animal. We don't love nature the way we're supposed to do. Therefore, we don't love ourselves. I went through my own pain. But I am humbled. And I'm happy to say that the journey is worth every single minute of it. Everything I've done in this life, the pain and suffering, the torture, the trials that I've gone through, is worth every single minute of it. Every one of it. We struggle and we suffer. We go through pain. We go through stresses. Just because we do not select one of the two sides of life. We do not select one of the two sides of life carefully. And that's why we go through pain. That's why we go through suffering. We must have to choose between life experiences and learning. Those are the two sides of life. We must have to choose between experience and learning. These are the two aspects of life. We have to decide amongst these two which one is going to be predominant over our lives. Which one is going to be predominant over the other as we go through trials and temptation. If you are not capable of deciding between these two carefully, if you make an error, when we make an error in choosing the best of these two, then we have our hands full with a lot of trouble to deal with every single day of our lives. The two aspects of this life must be believed. Those two aspects of this life have to be believed by each and every one of us. Experience. The experiences we have in life. We all go through experiences. As we go through life, we have experiences. We interact with people. We interact with things. We interact with systems. We interact with our own selves. We interact with so many things, the universe, the moon, the stars, and everything. We interact with just so much every single minute. As I'm talking like this, I'm having experiences. I'm interacting with things and I'm having experiences. The experience that we go through every day cause movement. As we experience things, they cause movement in our lives. And those movements create imbalance. As we move, as we vibrate from one place to another, it creates an imbalance. An imbalance in us. Instability. When there's a vibration, nothing gets stable. And unfortunately, all of us, we love stability. Because instability causes, it causes pain, causes suffering, disturbs us. Instability is not good. Nobody loves it. Unfortunately, life here on earth cannot be without instability, cannot be without vibration. There must be vibration on earth for learning to take place. There must be things happening, vibration, things changing, movements, things happening. For learning to take place, there must be things happening in our lives. Experience. We need it. We need experiences. We need a vibration for that to happen. For learning to take place in our lives. We are here to learn. Whether we like it or we don't like it, we are here on this earth to learn. There is no other thing we came here to do. We are on what you call the wheel of karma. These are basic facts that we need to understand as human beings. That we are not here on earth to eat. At times I just sit and I scratch my head and I ask myself questions. How come we didn't understand why we are here? Including me. It took me such a long time, such a very, very long time to work on this, to reach a point where I will be able to understand why I'm here. We are here to learn lessons of life. That's why we are here. And not to work. And not to accumulate material junk. That is not the reason why we are here. We are not here to work, to accumulate material junk, to eat, to feast, to drink, fall sick, get insane, hurt each other. And then wake up one morning, get discouraged about life, and then die. Suddenly. We need to understand that the acquisition of all these things should not be a struggle. To have all these things, even to have food to eat, water to drink, a livelihood, a place to live, as a human being, supposed not to be a struggle. It is true. I've seen it. I grew up where people did not struggle for a living. They just lived. My parents would just wake up in the morning and just go to farm. They are happy to go to farm because they will farm. They will watch their crops grow. They will wait for it to grow. They will nurture it as a baby. Harvesting will come and they will dry. It was It was just fun. You go out and you smell the smell of the farms, the burning, the aroma is beautiful. It was something, all the seasons, life, nature provided love and joy and peace and stability. Things were easy to go. We had everything we ever needed, except money. We didn't need money. I hardly saw money when I was growing up as a kid, and we didn't need it. That's why I'm not very used to money, even though I came from a family that had just so much of it. Because I didn't see the need for it. And thank God, I don't make it my God. I can do things without money. I do lots of stuff without money because I relate to people. I connect with people. I get people to work, to do stuff. We are not here to toil the way we are toiling, to work the way we work. Acquisition of all these material things is good to have them, but it's supposed not to be at the peril of our own lives. It's supposed not to be at the destruction of our own soul. Jesus Christ told us, seek first the kingdom of God, and every one of this will be yours. He was right. He didn't lie. You see these neighbors? If I go out there and stand there for the next 5 minutes, you see them coming out with gifts, different ideas to help. I'm a black person in this community, and we know what is happening with black people all over the United States. Some of them are shot. Some of them are mowed down with police cars. All types of crazy stuffs are happening to their lives. I don't have that problem. They may be discriminating against me, but they will hide to do it. But then they can't even resist the love, because I don't give room for nonsense. I don't give room to discriminate against a fellow human being, animal, plants, birds. Everything, every one of us are interconnected. I have them in my memory. So when I go out there, it shows in the lives of people they want to be part of. They give me gifts. They go out. They give gifts to my kids. Even when my kids are not there, they give me gifts to keep for my kids. My kids don't spend all the time with me, but they give me gifts. My neighbors, all these white people here, all of them. I'm the only black person here. When I was about to move into this place, the person who looked for this place for me told me one of my neighbors was racist. I said, well, good for that person, because I'll be dealing with him. I don't even know the person yet, even though I'm going close to a year. I don't even know who that neighbor is, because all the neighbors I have here, they love me. All of them. All my neighbors. So, the idea is knowing who we are. And when we know who we are, we realize money cannot replace human beings. Money cannot replace nature. Money cannot replace everything there is. Material things cannot replace relationships we have with fellow human beings, with animals, with birds, with everything, including the God nature that created everything. No. That's not how life works. When you pay attention to money and material things, you lose focus. And that's why people in the West are disoriented, and that's why divorces are flying everywhere. Do you know, out of my entire family, a huge family, I'm the only person who has gone through divorce. And it's because I'm married to an American. It's a taboo in my tribe to divorce, even though some divorces are taking place now. But when you come from a tribe, you marry a woman in my tribe, it was difficult to divorce. Because there is guardians, there's a way that tradition is built, that all the families, the wife's family and the husband's family, they interact and resolve problems. There was a way it was done. The West doesn't have that. We believe in money. We believe in satellite families. We believe in little groups. And it hurts us. To the best of my knowledge, life gets exciting when we look at the experiences we go through as tools for better understanding. Trust me, when you look at life and all the experiences, whether they are good, whether they are bad, whether they are exciting or whatever they are, you look at them as a tool for better understanding. Everything changes. Why we look at these experiences as a necessity or as necessities and be benefiting from them, and work towards benefiting from them, and put in every effort to see what is in these experiences that can benefit us, what could be of benefit to us, and also including our entire surrounding. Because an experience that only benefits us is selfish and is counterproductive. Let an experience that we go through be looked upon as a tool that will benefit us and then benefit our surrounding. It means every other thing, our neighbors, our brothers, our sisters. And when I talk of neighbors, I'm talking of humans, animals, birds, plants, the sky, the moon, everything. That's what consciousness entails. Loving everything there is and treating them as if you're treating yourself. If we do not focus on the learning aspect of life, if we do not pay attention to the learning aspect of our lives and experiences, we will not only fail to learn the lessons of life, we will not only fail to learn the lessons we are here to learn that will liberate us and take us off the wheel of karma. We will suffer pain. We will suffer injustice. And not only that, suffering, injustice, pain will provide early death to our lives because stresses and illnesses will kill us. And that is sad. That would be a sad history for a human being to live this life and waste it and end up dying premature death. That is not what I wish for you. That is not what I wish for a fellow human being. That is not what I wish for anybody. It's not good for one to be in this life and not be able to work out their salvation with trembling and fear. As we pay more attention to what we experience, and as we constantly figure out ways to fight back, instead of just absorbing, instead of just learning, as we constantly pay attention more to experiences we go through, what we experience, these bad things, this trauma, this illness, that one, we keep paying attention to those things and those experiences and replaying them in our mind, regurgitating them over and over and over and over, and constantly trying to figure out ways to dodge away from them, to run away from them, to escape from the pain and suffering. We don't want to experience it. No, I don't like it. Jumping here and there, fighting back, or trying to avoid it at all cost. You don't want it. You don't want to deal with it. You want it gone. We fight back. Fight them. We strive. And in the process, suffering takes place. Pain takes place because we get frustrated. And all suffering begins when there is frustration. When we get frustrated after we are fighting and we are not getting our way, or we fight to succeed today, another problem comes, we have to go fight it and we succeed. Another one comes again, we have to fight it, and we keep fighting. We've been fighting our entire lives, isn't it? Fight. Something is not connecting. A smart person will ask question, why is something not connecting here? I need to find out. And they begin to dig. That person who began digging is digging himself not only away from suffering, but to learn his lessons that brought him here. Sooner or later, that person is going to discover what he came here for. The beginning may have lots of nuances. Very confusing because there is just so much to work on. We don't even know where to start. It's overwhelming. But so long as we have the determination to begin to find out who we are, what we are doing here on earth, our purpose, how we will pursue it, everything begins to readjust itself. No matter how large and confusing it is. I call it gather me during meditation. There was a point in my meditative life, I've gone through a lot of them, that there came a point my life was so scattered, and all when I go into prayers and meditation, I would just sit and say, gather me. Gather me. Gather me. Gather me. Gather me. Gather me, universe. Gather me, Lord. Gather me. Gather me, Holy God of heaven. Gather me, being. Gather me, universe. Gather me, he who creates. Just gather me. Gather me. That's all I will need to say in my prayers. Intently, focused, concentrated. Listen to the inner voice, and answers came with time. We have life to live. Don't let anything, any wrong idea, any wrong recipe that has been handed to you, or what the society is trying to hand to you, take you down. Tell yourself, if you have to fail, you'll be the one to take yourself down. not another person, not anything else. Stand on that. It will give you life. We are not of the will of karma when we do not do the right things, the things we came to do on earth. Our lives will be almost wasted when we focus on what is going on with us, our experiences. Our lives will be wasted when we focus on what is going on around us. In 2009, I was laying in a coma in the hospital. I can still remember events that took place before in that coma and soon after the coma. It was not pleasant. It was not fun. For me to recall everything that had happened to me, the life I had lived before, the mistakes I had made, the recipe that was handed to me that was all just not right. I tried, I struggled, I followed it, and at the end of it all, it was all disappointment. I realized I was pursuing the wrong goals. The disappointment I had at that point of death was incredible. It was shocking. Just to realize that most of my life was wasted. That most of my life before that point where I was lying on that bed dying was wasted on futile pursuit, on futile things, things that did not contribute to anything to my life, anything that was worth it. That futile pursuit drained me. They drained my life. They took away everything I could have been. And even more than that, the time I had spent on earth and everything I had accumulated, everything I had gone through, my entire life was almost a waste of time. It was heavy on me. On the other hand, if we focus more on what is in this experience for us, what is inside this experience for us, what is in there for me to learn, when we go through these experiences and we instead focus on what is in there for me to learn, what is in there that I can gather from every experience I go through, when that predominates our lives, when that is predominant in our lives and predominant over experience, learning becomes exciting. We want to learn more and more and more. Learning becomes very potent. Learning becomes something that predominates our lives at that point in time, because we will be going through experiences. The experiences are not going to stop. They never stop. But the thing is, as we begin to focus on learning what is in each experience, we forget more about the experiences, because the learning absorbs us. We are absorbed in the learning process. And when learning becomes potent, it becomes very, very productive. It dominates everything about us because we want to know more and more. And the greater the learning continues, because we want to learn more. We want to learn more. We want to go deeper and deeper and deeper. And this gets even very, very, very exciting. On the other hand, we can focus more on what these experiences have for us. What does this experience have for me? What can I learn out of each and every one of this experience? When this type of thought about learning through our experiences predominates us, dominate experiences, new things begin to happen. Learning becomes extremely potent. Learning makes a lot of sense to us, and we can be able to use it and realize it is very tangible in producing results in our lives. And that is something we need to pay serious attention to. And we need to understand that the tougher an experience, the tougher it gets, the greater the learning. When we are absorbed in the learning process, the tougher things get in the learning process, the greater the learning itself, the greater we learn. And that shapes everything about us. The more we learn, the better it gets. The more we learn, the better things are to us as human beings. Because it gets even exciting. The further we learn, the further we gather knowledge about us, about our environment, about our surrounding, about this life, the more godlike we become. When we begin to gather more and more information about our mind, our soul, our body, life as a whole, what brings us here, what we are doing here, what we ought to be doing, and we begin to head towards that direction and begin to discover the new things we learn in life, we are going closer and closer and closer to where we come from. We are becoming more godlike. And all of us are. And that is our journey. Our purpose here on earth. The reason why we are all here is to go back to where we belong. Is to go back to divine nature. That is our purpose in this life. And we cannot fail to achieve that and expect to get off the wheel of karma. Thank you. And I hope this made sense to you. And I decree a good thing upon your life. I dismantle any negative force that is hindering you from living your life. I rebuke demons, principalities, and powers, and any forces of darkness operating and hindering your life from seeing the light. I take authority over it right now. I resist every negative spirit hovering over your life. I dismantle forces of darkness in the air, on the land, in the sea, in the forest, in the desert, in any institution that is hindering you from living the life purposed for you. I decree again a good thing upon your life, and that an awareness will explode in you, and that you begin to explore your true self. And this comes from the master of my own life, my soul, and I. Thank you very much.